hope you are, doing well since last time we spoke. It's been a couple days. I come to you tonight with a very heavy disposition. But the show goes on, and we're going to do our best to make it happen tonight. If you're new to the show, tonight is Tuesdays. True Tuesdays. Well, all truth is spoken. It's a saying, tell the truth and shame the devil. We're going to shame him so bad today, he might want to change his ways. Tonight, Johnson, we're going to get into it. I got a couple stories to cover, but I want to start with my friend Senator Nina Turner's defeat in the 11th Ohio District. In 11th District of Ohio, running against the more established centrist Shontel Brown. And I'm going to address I'm going to first give you an update. Last I checked the numbers, it was like 65 to 35. That is when I went and checked, and I saw that a number of news organizations had called the race for Shontel Brown with a very, very heavy margin. And so that's what it is. So Shontel Brown will retain her seat. And she will retain this is a primary, this is a primary. The Republican this is a very Democratic district. So the likelihood of Shontel Brown losing to the Republican is very slim, if not impossible. She would have to have a major scandal. I don't even think Trump could save that district. And I doubt he would even try because it would be embarrassing to lose it. So for all intents and purposes, Shontel Brown is the choice for Ohio's 11th district. With that being said, Johnsons, and all my friends out there, I want to address a couple things about the race because I want to give it up to Jordan Sheridan for doing a lot of coverage on this. Thank you, Jordan Sheridan. Doing what you do, Johnson. I would have went to Ohio and did what I did last time, doing the special runoff election, but I financially was unable to do so. But I was with them in spirit and with them with words. I endorsed Nina very early on in this race. And I stand by that endorsement. I'm glad that Jordan had the resources to go and be there on the ground and give excellent coverage. I also appreciate the fact he sort of picked up the mantle, it appears, and took a few slings and arrows from the more contentious side of the progressive, if that's what they're calling themselves nowadays, wing of whatever this is we got. I don't know what this is we have. I think people have a different understanding of what it's going to take to win elections. And I think none of us know exactly what it's going to take to get our issues. Forget winning elections. It's about getting your issues heard, and it's about getting change for your community, for yourselves, for your children, for your parents, for your country, for the world, frankly. We're all trying to figure it out as we go along. No cheat code to this. To assume people have nefarious instincts or nefarious intentions without any evidence is disrespectful. At best. It also could be considered petty, gratuitous, and strategic. So let's do this, man. The elephant in the room. I got two questions. Let's start here. One person asked me, said, Tim, this is a member of the Tim Black Wolfpack. He said, Tim Black, do you still support Nina Turner? I'm just asking. Just want to know. This was several hours ago. And I endorsed her. I brought her on and endorsed her and told you to vote for her if you're in her district and supported her and campaigned for her last time. So, yeah, it's kind of a weird question. But I guess it was a valid question because they asked the question and they're a member of the show. So, yes, as I stated, Nina Turner, I consider her a friend. I support her candidacy. I support her run. I think she believes in the values that we believe in. I think she believes in the policies that we care about, that I care about, I can only speak for myself. I really only have one vote, and I can't vote in the Ohio 11th district. But I did support her run, and I support her future runs. And she remains to be Nina Turner, whom I've known over the years. So that's the first thing. So it's kind of here nor there now. But yes, I did support her candidacy. I did support her election. I did support her campaign. I do support her endeavors to serve the people of Ohio. I don't think she's full of whatever people are saying. They should run for office. They're so intent on what other people need to be, they should go be that thing. We can use them if they're for serious. If they're real, they need to go run because we really need you. And unlike you, I will support you, even if I don't 100% agree with everything that you ever say. Okay? Because I'm different than you. I realized that, so let me get to the other thing first, because I could go on a tangent. The other thing was someone said, Tim. Now, this is not a member of the Tim Black Wolf Pack, but it's a person who was in my comment section. They appear to be African-American, black, FBA. And they said, Tim Black. Notice I changed my voice. Tim Black, do you support Nina Turner? I went to her website and I saw that she did not have reparations on her agenda. So there you go, Tim Black. For the record, do you support her? You also supported Bernie Sanders in 2020, who did not have reparations on his agenda. For the record, do you support these people? And he said it like he was watching me or something. And I responded to him, yes, I do. I support Nina Turner. And you don't need to watch me to figure it out. If you could take notes, take a picture, you could call into the show and I'll tell you why. And just because I'm not sure if they're going to call in, let me address this now, brother. Supporting reparations. We have not done the work. Some people have made a lot of money. Some people made a name for themselves. Some people have had articles written about them. Some people have been able to do different things around this movement for reparations. But what we have not done, and I know it's going to be weird. It's going to sound impossible, but we have not saturated all black people with the thought that this could happen, that they should support it. So that's called work on the ground. You talking about it on someone's YouTube channel, us talking about it in comment sections, you harassing people like Tim Black in their comment sections, that will not get you reparations. I also find it amazing that the same types of people who don't believe in voting give a shit about Nina Turner and what she has on her platform. Because you wouldn't vote for her anyway, because you already said you don't vote. You're holding your vote until the Democratic Party does something. But I am encouraged that you care about votes. Maybe you're not one of those people who I've been bombarded with over the last couple months, last 6 months, ever since I started making inroads, talking about this reparation shit the way I talk about it, which is very blunt, leaving a lot of pissed off people in my wake, walking away from relationships and doing all of that I did in support of this. I appreciate that you actually care about elections. Because as soon as I started making a little bit of headway, all of a sudden I got all these people telling me how wrong, how much of a backstabbing coon I am because I'm going to vote. And they're being told not to vote. And obviously, I couldn't really mean anything. I can't really be a true FBA Black B1 person. Because I think the least you could do is take your ass down to the polls and vote for some shit. And to be honest, Johnson, if I'm being totally honest, that's not the way we're going to get reparations. Look, the only way we're going to get it is if we do everything. We're going to need people on the ground. We're going to need people politically. We're going to need all that stuff. We're going to need allies too, something a lot of these people are dead set against. So they don't want to support politics. They don't want to vote. They don't want allies. So I guess it's supposed to happen by spontaneous combustion. Back to Nina Turner, Johnson. Yeah, I support her. I've been supporting her. That won't change. Running on reparations and supporting reparations are not the same thing. Politicians have to decide what's the strategy for their campaign. That's what people have to decide. You can support something, but not run on it. You could run on something. Hopefully that means you're going to support it. I've had people run on shit, and then they didn't support it. Andrew Yang, Tulsi Gabbard. So it really doesn't matter, Johnson. It's what they're going to support. But if you make a call, an audible, if you call an audible in your campaign, whatever that is, and you decide, hey, I can't run on this, or these are the things I'm going to run on, it's going to be the most beneficial pathway, I believe, because you really don't know, Johnson. Does that mean that you don't support something? I'm sure Nina Turner probably supports having more restrictions on certain people having guns or certain things, but she didn't run on that either. Get what I'm saying? Like, there are a lot of things you can support that you don't run on. You might support breaking up certain rings, doing something about human trafficking, but you might not run on it. It may not be a plank in your campaign. But I believe that a Black Histories professor, which is what Nina Turner is, or was, knows a lot about Black history and slavery and Jim Crow and segregation and all these things. I believe she already know. I'm not going to ask her for the 18th time for her to say yes to my support reparations, for her to say yes, and for people still to doubt it and tell me how wrong I am to support her. So I'm not going to insult my friend for the 18th time asking them the same question just for them to say yes and you to ignore the answer. Because that's what people keep doing. And every time these people answer these questions that split the field, they make it less likely for them to win. You do understand that, right? No, you don't. And you don't care. Because you don't give a shit about politics. You don't know how it works and you don't care to learn. And someone else told you, who has no political experience, has not been covering politics more than 2 seconds until it became lucrative to cover it. Now it's very important. Now they want to talk about it. There's a lot of shit I don't know, a lot of shit I don't care to know. I haven't taken the time to dig into it. And occasionally it'll come up like, I don't watch football anymore. I don't talk about football. Occasionally I talk about Colin Kaepernick, but it's about the social justice point of Colin Kaepernick. It's not about the football teams because I'm out of the loop now. It's been 5 years. I stopped watching. I can no longer I cannot comment on things I don't know about, that I haven't taken the time to, because I'm ethical. I wish people would give the same respect to people that have been covering politics for the last 5, 6, 7 years when they haven't been doing it. That's all. Seems like a very modest ask, like a very basic ask. But for some reason, that is overstepping. That's disrespectful. That's disrespectful to other people. I don't think it is. Just because something gets you views and something is in vogue, cynically, doesn't mean you're supposed to talk about it just cause. Anyway. Nina Turner lost her race tonight, and I'm upset about that. But I'm not just upset about it because Nina Turner's a great person, though she is a great person in my eyes. And it's not because of that. It's because I think she's a better candidate for the people of Ohio's 11th district. And I think she's a better candidate that could be more supportive of our intentions or our goals, not just for Black Americans, but all Americans. Because I truly believe she would get in and make noise about Medicare for all, reparations, police brutality, or retraining, or defunding and refunding, or as I should say, reallocation of budgets. That she would be a vehicle or a loud voice on certain issues. Not everything at every time that we could all imagine of one person to do. It's one person of a body of Congress, but I do believe she would do her and a few others are more along the lines of people that we need. So, so that's what bothers me. That's what bothers me. It bothers me that the kids in Akron, the poor kids in Akron, have 20 years less lifespan, expected lifespan, than the rich bastards that voted for Shontel Brown in those suburban enclaves. That bothers me. It bothers me that somebody who has been championing for certain causes for the last 4 or 5 years can be outspent and outraised by crypto billionaires and dark money from special interests from outside, from big oil to big pharma, and people still not get it. Why do they send in millions of dollars on a little 11th congressional district in Ohio? Because you're a threat, Johnson. That's the reason why they do it. That's why, because she's not going to be like everyone else. She's not going to, there's your answer. All those people, and it's a lot of them, all those people talking all that shit, they should have to apologize. And I do mean all of them. Because nothing else says you don't know what the fuck you talking about like money. Yeah, if you were right about Nina Turner, all you assholes, if you were right, why would they dump millions of dollars into her race to stop her if you were right? If it's no big deal, if she ain't shit, if she's a sellout, if she ain't gonna do shit, if she just like who insert name of person you hate, why would they spend money to stop her? Why were there back-to-back robocalls and attack ads against her? See, these are very basic. If you're logical, these people with these audiences, very basic. Very basic. It's like it's a dude outside, and the dude that's going to fight you don't show up, but 20 other motherfuckers do with baseball bats, brass knuckles, and strap. And I say, damn, they must be scared of you, homie. They brought everything except the kitchen sink. And you go, he can't fight. This dude can't fight. Well, if he couldn't fight and they're not scared of him, what's all the dudes for? But you ain't got to believe me. Believe your favorite white commentator or black sellout commentator, because there's a number of those. Believe one of those lying motherfuckers. I should say whack progressive white commentator and whack whitewash corny ass black commentator who was spreading that bullshit. I don't care if you think you're right, you're wrong, and I just proved it. Face closed, case closed. Done deal, Johnson. You're wrong. And it's in the numbers. The numbers, that's basic. Basic. Why the people outside? But you know, that's not enough. We gotta figure, think more about it. So we gotta come up with something. Let's crunch the numbers. Let's do some more analyzing. Let's make sure here. We gotta, and this person's gonna bring up this thing and that thing. And remember this interview? Nobody gave a shit. All those things you're saying, she said this that time and she said that. The special interest did not give a fuck. Obviously. It wasn't enough for them to say, hey, she ain't no threat. Get it? So, I think it would be hard for them to rebuttal that. Instead, they'll bring up something like, he said a curse word when he spoke. The worst for the black people that know what I mean when I'm cursing. And they're supposed to. I mean, some of them that are rooted in blackness, they kind of, it's, you know, like not knowing Richard Pryor humor, not knowing, don't get it? Okay. Don't get Paul Mooney humor? For real? You black for real? Where you come from? I get it. Some white folks are kind of like, I don't know what the fuck will tell me. That's violent speech. You know, this is how I was raised. This is the way I talk. When I'm off script, just talking. I don't give a shit. So anyway, it is what it is, Johnson, and it's unfortunate, and this is the system. But we ain't going to defeat the system. We're not going to defeat the system unless we get more people engaged. And that's the question. That's the thing. So once again, guys, I think we didn't do it. I guess more people just didn't know. What can I tell you? If you're outspent, 9 times out of 10, the person with the most money wins. That's why we need money out of politics. Because that's how that works. And whenever the underdog does win, that's why it's like, wow. Because 9 times out of 10, the person with the most money wins. Because most people are disengaged from politics. And all they saw are the ads from whoever had the money to run them. And that's kind of what they go on. And that's why. Okay, Johnson? So that's why money matters. I can't get people to go down and vote, more or less get people to actually support a candidate, actually get involved. So how's that supposed to work? Like, you know, I got to argue with people about that shit. They say I'm sounding like Clyburn because I said support people that are going to support the policies that you want. I mean, maybe they got an alternative. You know, if people have an alternative way of plan for us getting some shit done for us, whether you're a working person, whether you are a small business person, whether you are a black person or whatever you're trying to get done. People have shit that matters to them. Whatever that is, if it benefits regular working people, they don't want it done. See what I'm saying? Whatever it is. If it benefits working regular people, it's against status quo. Because that's the way our system's set up. Because there's a special interest that benefits from whatever that thing is that you have that you want to get rid of. They benefit from that. That's why it's the way it is. Understand what I'm saying? So none of this is by accident. All of this shit is set up it ain't broke. Like they say, you heard it. It's not broken. It's running the way it's supposed to run. Everything that you can't stand, whether it is food deserts, whether it is wars, whether it is mass incarceration, whether it is dirty water, whatever it is, Johnson, lack of health care, student debt, whatever it is, whatever the thing is for you that it is. And there's so many things. It's okay if people have their pet thing that they're, concerned about. As long as you're not opposed to what I want, I can relate to that. Right? I'm not opposed to what you want, what your main priorities are. Get what I'm saying? But just know, at the end, we're fighting the same fight because whatever we want, and I do mean whatever it is against what the system wants, what the status quo wants. So, I wish I had more answers for you. I really do, Johnson. I really want to know. I package it up and it's give it away all across the country to every person I could find if I knew exactly what the answer was to solve that. And I know it's a lot of other people that want to solve it too. I'm not alone. There's some good people that want to solve this shit. But let's not fool ourselves. This is bigger than Nina Turner. This is bigger than Nina Turner. Do you motherfuckers know her story? Do you know her mom died very young. She was left raising her siblings in her fucking teens? Do you know that? And then she went to school and got 2 degrees? Do you know this about my friend Nina Turner? Shame on you. Shame on you. Have you met her father, motherfucker? No. You met her sisters? I have. You ever broke bread with her? No. I don't support a lot of people. I'm real choosy who I support. I made a call. I'm not going to shit on you if you make a different call, but don't undermine the call. Don't undermine my choice. I don't run up on your job kicking boxes out your hand. So, yeah, it got me upset. I was upset about it last time because I felt it was our best shot was last time, okay? I felt it was our best shot. I felt the momentum was with us. Some people saw it the other way. So I've been guarded this time around. Because I don't want to say, I don't want to. It's unfortunate. I'm very sorry that I have to bring you this news tonight. Very sorry that I have to bring you this news. I want to bring you some good news. I really wish I could, Johnson. But unfortunately, that's not the way it's going to shake out. It's not the way it turned out. We have different tactics. That's okay if we have different tactics, okay? But what I'm saying is I think there are people, once again, undermining progress for selfish reasons. Then there's some people undermining progress because they just don't give a shit. They just don't know and they don't care to find out. That's what I got a problem with. Those two people. But if we just have a different tactic and you got other things you're working on, and I get that, Johnson. Like I said, I support direct actions. I support activism. I come from community organizing and activism here in D.C. That's where I got started in politics. I never trusted elections. I'm only involved in elections for the 18th time because I feel it's a necessary evil. That's why, Johnson, it's the least expensive, time-consuming thing you can do. It's really like the most casual thing that you could do. Everything else requires hours and dollars and you getting out in the streets. Forming, and I'd rather you do that for real. So if someone says, Tim, I don't do that vote thing, but I'm doing this and I'm doing that, hey, Strong J. But that's not what people be telling me, Joe. They don't be telling me, I'm doing this and I'm doing that and I'm working on this, I'm working on the other thing. They don't tell me that. They just say, fuck that. Okay, what you doing? I just did it. Fuck that. That's what I'm doing. And I'm going to go to work tomorrow. Okay, and it would be okay. That's fine. Then they don't go away, though. They don't go do their thing. They just keep coming by to tell me how wrong I am to do this. It's like crazy. So, like I said, it's like unfortunate, it's sad, and as you can tell, I'm still upset about it. I'm still bitter about people with a lot to say who ain't did a lot of work on this shit. But damn, it was a good opportunity. It was an opportunity. It was. And I'll just end it on the note, and I'll just repeat what I said earlier, and that is, if these people were right about all the negative things they said about Nina Turner, I don't think those PACs, those crypto billionaires, and those special interest groups would have threw millions of dollars into a race if it was a toss-up, if it was like it didn't matter, if she was what you painted her as. If that was the case, though, that money would not have been spent. I know you think people just have money to throw away. Rich people don't get rich by throwing money away for dumb shit. Okay? It wasn't fun money. It wasn't just to do. I know you telling your viewers that because they live in La La Land, that they think that people do shit like fuck with elections because they're bored, like this is an episode of Trading Places. But that's not how the world works. Maybe you know that if you actually held jobs, if you actually did some shit in the real world. Maybe if you worked for a couple of corporations, a couple of nonprofits, started a real business, did some things, had a fucking resume of actually doing shit, you would know that. Because you're telling me you've been missing a lot of people. And I'm not saying names because people say, Tim, don't say names. It hurts people's feelings. And I like watching everybody. Okay, fine. You keep on doing what you're doing. People have to be able to discern for themselves at the end of the day. A friend from a foe. An ally from an op. That's what you got to do. I don't want to stay on this all night, Johnson's. Senator Nina Turner, S&T, keep your head up. The better advocate than that one tonight. But that happens. 2024, just run for president. Fuck him. And I'll support that too. All right. Roe versus Wade. Roe versus Wade, Johnson, Roe versus Wade. Look. Okay, first of all, this shit is on the Democrats. That's the only place it goes. It goes on the Democrats. Like, people already know what the Republicans wanted to do. Okay? They know what their base wants. That's what they try to do. Unlike Democrats, Republicans try to do what their base wants. Unfortunately for me, a lot of what if that was the case, I just want to be with a team that did what its voters wanted, I'd be a Republican. I would be a Republican, Johnson. The problem is, the shit they want to do, I don't want. That's the problem. That's the problem. The Republicans do what their constituents want. The Democrats pretend to try to do what you want them to do. And then when they can't do it, they blame people in their own party. Republicans don't blame people in their own party, just kick them the fuck out. Roe versus Wade is the problem of the Democrats. Republicans have always been, the conservatives, the evangelicals have always been very clear that they wanted to overturn Roe versus Wade. That has not happened. A leaked document with an opinion. Leaked. First of all, as Mrs. Black and I were talking earlier tonight, yeah, whenever I hear about leaks, let's be talking about Nene leaks, you on some bullshit. Don't nothing get leaked, Johnson. This is what they put out. They wanted to put this out. Whoever put this out wanted to put it out. They don't damn leak, Johnson. Like a Kardashian tape. So we'll see what happens. Like this is a case in Mississippi, apparently. And we'll see what happens from that. And even if they overturn it, it will revert to the states' rights. If that's the decision, it becomes precedent that you can no longer just legalize it up until, was it 30? Third trimester, whatever it is. We all should have Well, the writing on the wall was very clear. I don't think it was hitting at all. Once again, it's very clear the way the country, the way the politics was leaning ever since Trump. And it's what it is. If the Democrats really wanted this done, they should have been doing what they needed to do to get this law cemented, ratified, not just a precedent. And like someone, we got a Supreme Court that tilts to the right. Instead of clapping for Ginsburg, you should have been protesting to get her ass to step down and put somebody in their spot and then push Obama to do what he had to do with Merrick Garland, and then you got a different bench. But nobody wanted to do that because we all want to fall in line and listen to the Jim Clyburns and the Nancy Pelosi's and whatever. So you all fell in line, and this is what you have. That's to them. And it becomes very difficult for me to say this is not the intention. Like I said, whatever shit turns out the way it turns out in America, without bodies dropping, because that's the country you live in. I got to believe deals were cut, and this is the way they wanted it to be. Not the way you and I wanted it to be. Once again, what I said is it ain't about us. Because if it was up to us what we wanted, we have a different country. So, yeah, so I don't see I hate to say wait and see, but we'll have to wait and see. I saw some tweets from Marcus Farrell from Political Thirst Trap, Clickbait. I know I get that backwards, but y'all know Marcus. He's been on the show. And he said, hey, man, there's a lot of protests. I saw some white women in the streets protesting Roe versus Wade, and I didn't see one cop. Interesting. And you won't see one cop either. We was like on the road. Earlier he said something about Clyburn, like, you won't hear Jim Clyburn complaining about sloganeering. When people protest Roe versus Wade, get out the street, stop sloganeering. You won't hear Clyburn saying that. So you sure won't, because he ain't going to say that to those white women. Clyburn ain't stupid. He know where his bread is buttered. I said something back like, you ain't going to never hear Clyburn complain about anybody but us and progressive policies. What was it? September 31st, 2099. That's when he'll break ranks and fight for us. So yeah, that's not going to happen. So call in tonight about Roe versus Wade, Johnson. Hey, look, I'm sure there's some opinions on this, and there's some facts or some nuances, some details that you could better articulate than myself, and I would love to hear from it because I don't have it. I don't have it. But blaming people, it's like, every time the Democrats can't get what when they fail or on the verge of failing, they only know how to do is, hey, it's their fault. Blame somebody else. Every time. Nothing's ever their fault. They could have never played it a different way. It's always someone's got to take the fall. If it ain't Susan Sarandon, it's Nina Turner. If it ain't Nina Turner, it's Bernie Sanders. If it's not them, it's all the progressives. It's the far left. Whatever the fuck the far left is. I don't even know what that is, Johnson. Where's that? I'm not even convinced that these people that you're saying are far left even are politically active. You mean people at rallies who threw rocks or burnt buildings? Those people may not even be political. They could just be anarchists who hate American assholes, who hate the bullshit. That could be what it is. I know it was a lot of Proud Boys. A couple of Proud Boys got arrested for being at some of those rallies, posing as anarchists. Yeah, I know that. So I don't even know what that is. But it feels like you're pointing the gun at people who have progressive policies they want enacted. And if you are a person that says you want reparations, I don't know where you come from, but that's progressive. Anything that takes America forward in a way that is radical way, and radical does not mean you're gonna you're gonna burn down the country. It means incremental. It means anything that's not incremental. Making a turn right now, turn left, that's radical. Slowly varying. Take a slight, that's incrementalism. So what you want is very radical, which is very progressive. You want a radical change in our politics. Look like you're progressive. You want to be progressive in policy? It's a very progressive policy. It ain't conservative. Right? So, Roe versus Wade, we're going to see what happens. People, I know, I'm a man, so I would never tell people what to do with their bodies. It's not my jam. That's not how I roll. I'm a granddad. I have 3 granddaughters. Jazz, you need to get in and make a grandson before I leave here. Yeah, get on your job, sister. Come on now. Come on, baby. Like filling out an order. Okay, I'll take the 3 granddaughters and how about a grandson to go? How about that? Yeah, fix that up for me, Johnson. That'd be great. So, but whatever my daughter decides to do is what she decides to do. It's her body. So people had these arguments, Johnson, and I get it. I'm not trying to make that I don't want to make this that conversation. What I'm saying is I support a woman's right to choose. There you go. It's amazing that there are people who made certain decisions 10 years ago or 20 years ago. And now they have a different view of what other people should do and how other people should live their lives. Meanwhile, they already lived their lives. They already did their thing, and now they're like this way. You know what I'm saying? Like they have this, now they're like, hey, you can't do the. So, what I don't like is hypocrisy. It's a lot of hypocrites. You know what I'm saying? That's what I don't like. So, and just remember, guys, regardless of what you think about this, whatever happens in June, they say in June, that's when they think this case will be decided. Whatever happens, Johnson, it will not change the actual action, the action of people ending pregnancies. Here's the deal, Johnson. Before, when it was illegal in many states to end a pregnancy prematurely, they were still ending pregnancies prematurely. They were just dying while doing so. They were just hurting themselves while doing so. You understand what I'm saying? It's sort of like people say, Tim, what's up with Biden giving out needles? There are smart people who hate the Democrats so much and hate MSNBC so much and don't care for CNN so much that they watch Fox News. And they don't realize that doesn't solve your problem. It just gives you different problems. Dog, if you know anything about addiction at all, you would know the last worry an addict has is a means to light it or ingest it. They're going to find a way. And the ways that they find was killing them. Get it? You can't help people quit if they are not alive. But you listen to Fox and fucking Tucker and these other assholes just because you don't like Don Lemon. And I understand. I get that, Johnson. I'm not a Don Lemon fan or a Rachel Maddow fan or none of that shit either, Johnson. But I'm not going to run into the arms of the fucking Klan because of it or the assholes because of it. Oh, yay! We're leaving these assholes. All right. Get it? That's what you're doing. So once again, so it's the same thing. If Biden, and look, and I roast Biden's ass all the time. He can't find his way home from the mall. I've heard the motherfucker talk, and it's like he thought he was someone else. He didn't even call himself a fucking senator. He still called himself a senator as his president. Like, I don't. So, nah, none of that. You can't go there with me with the, tell us his support. No, motherfucker. No. It's possible to not like any of this. Before I started covering politics, I didn't like any politics. It wasn't like, I love Democrats. No, I didn't like Democrats, Republicans, none of it, okay? It was all corrupt. It's still all corrupt. Here's my point, Johnson. Just like when Biden gave those needles out, had them given out dispersed by these nonprofit organizations that had these contracts. It was a means to prevent harm. Because they know these people who are addicted, until they break their addiction, they're going to continue to use. You cannot save a life if you don't save the life so you can save it. Get what I'm saying? So the same thing goes with abortion. Same thing goes with this. People are going to find a way. Get what I'm saying? People are going to find a way. It's sort of like, okay, alcohol. Oh, prohibition. Prohibition did not stop alcohol. It didn't stop alcohol. It just went underground and people made a lot of money. And they locked up a lot more people and mass incarcerations really started kicking in. Oh, wow, this is great. We got all this. It was before they really knew, like, oh, this is really good, you know. That's probably why they started the drug war. It was like, hey, you know, we can really benefit. We ain't want to lock up all the, but see, when they had prohibition, they were locking up a lot of white guys. But, you know, there was mostly Italians and Irish. So they were like, they didn't really see them as white at the time. Took time for them to allow them to become white. Just read a history book. Let's read a history book. But the point is this. You did stop alcohol consumption by having prohibition. You ain't going to stop people from using drugs or needles just because you don't give them one. You just borrow someone else's. And if that person has something, now they all have it. Get what I'm saying? And the same thing goes for ending pregnancies. That's my opinion. That's my take on it. And it follows, it's not pulling out my ass or pulling out of thin air or watching Rachel or watching Tucker. It's like logically, people are going to do shit. In which you say, Mitch McConnell, as a Republican, I am Mitch McConnell, and the Democrats are. Like somebody's going to go, oh, wow, should I do this or not? Baby, I just heard Mitch McConnell say, Mitch McConnell just said, so I think we should do it. Like someone thinks, like someone gives a flying shit what Turkey Neck has to say when they're about to do some shit. Come on, man. Come on, man. So it is what it is. Goodness gracious, man. All right, Johnsons. Can I say this? Brittany Griner. How many people remember who Brittany Griner is? Brittany Griner is the WNBA player who was being held in Russia. Okay, so let's see. We do have something for this. That's her, Brittany Griner. Great smile. She's a WNBA star. Well, the U.S. has determined that she's been held wrongly detained in Russia. So they basically kidnapped her at this point. Okay? Okay, so let me read this to you for a second so you get up to speed. I want to get this right. Okay, on Tuesday, the State Department says that the change made this designation in the captivity or the status of Brittany Griner. The change in designation indicates that the U.S. will ramp up efforts to secure her release. The U.S. government will continue to undertake efforts to provide appropriate support to Ms. Griner. The case has been moved to the Office of Special Presidential Envoy for Hostage Affairs, which is tasked with negotiating the release of Americans being held hostage and others classified as being wrongfully detained in other countries. Griner, 31, was arrested at the Moscow airport in mid-February for allegedly having cannabis vape cartridges in her luggage. She faces 5 to 10 years in Russian prison if convicted on drug smuggling charges. She's been detained for 75 days. Our expectation is that the White House do whatever is necessary to bring her home. Nika Ogumaki, the president of the WNBA Players Union, said in a separate statement that it's time for her to come home. Having noted the U.S. government has determined Brittany is being held wrongfully detained, we're hopeful that their efforts will be significant, swift, and successful. They have determined that Brittany is in good condition when the State Department negotiated in March. Russia anticipated last week in a prisoner swap of another U.S. citizen, former U.S. Marine Trevor Reed. So, if they did a swap, we gave him somebody. Give him somebody else, Johnson. Bring that sister home. Do that. It ain't rocket science. Bring the sister home. It also brings up another point, Johnson. That is, I heard some annoying asshole. Maybe it was on Instagram, making a remark in my conversation. Why was she there? Why? She plays there. Because we don't pay her shit. The end. You know, I worked for a contractor, a government contractor back in the 2000s, early 2000s, and I was offered an opportunity to go to Afghanistan. The per diem was crazy. It was bananas, Johnson. It was like, you're going to get $150,000, and we're also going to give you $500,000 a day almost. You're going to be rich as hell. And I was like, yeah, but if I don't come back, Mrs. Black will be with somebody else because a lot of good that does me. Because people offer you money, and I know they didn't offer that much money in Russia to play for Russia team or whatever. So what I'm saying is, people get offered jobs elsewhere, and I was looking at that money like, oh, I was looking like Mr. Cakes, like this. Sir. I don't know, man. Dude is hilarious. If you know who I'm talking about, it's a guy on Facebook. And on Instagram. He's crazy. He's always drooling and sweating and shit. You know, sometimes I need that in my life, Johnson. To get away from the politics and to just laugh at some shit, just laugh at it. Last thing, Johnson, I was watching Ozarks. How many people watch Ozark? I like Ozark, or liked Ozark. And then I noticed something about Ozark, and I made a tweet about it. Me and Mrs. Black were watching it the other night, and I looked at her and I said, you know what is crazy? She said, what, baby? I said, it was crazy. The Langmores Ruth Langmore and the rest of the Langmores. I keep hearing about all of the family. Everybody in the family was a derelict, a drunk, a thief, a felon. Horrible, horrible people. Whole line of failures, and drug incarcerated people, and just all these things. But you know what? They own like 2 acres of land, right? Waterfront property. I mean, they got trailers on that shit, but it's their land. They got their own land. And it seemed normal. It seemed okay. It made sense. Because they are white people. So you can be a poor white person and be like the Langmores with a whole history of assholes, but all it took was a great-grandpappy who stayed off the booze, didn't mess with the opiates, and he was able to build a business at some point, and he bought this land. Probably got it or was given it during the Homestead Act, right? And if he didn't gamble it away, he still had it. And now that's what happens. See? But check this out. The rub is this. The directors of that show tried to make that show very realistic. If it was realistic that a family of a bunch of degenerates, cons and degenerates with no scruples, no ethics, no nothing, no work ethic, none of that shit, that they could still have 2 to 3 acres of waterfront property. And that would make sense. Now, we all know if it was a black family of a bunch of degenerates, convicts, losers, they wouldn't be living in the hood. They wouldn't be living on 3 acres of waterfront property. No one would buy it, whether they had a trailer or not. Actually had like 3 trailers on that property. But no one would buy it. They'd be like, this doesn't make sense. How'd they get out of the hood? They would be in the projects. They would be in the PJs, yo. And I've been trying to say it. And see, Ozark is not a place you go to learn lessons about inequality or equity or any of that stuff. That's not what it's for. It's not about the racial wealth gap. But they showed you right there. It's right there, Johnson. It's right there. Doing all the heavy lifting for me. But I'm just pointing it out to you. You probably watched it and didn't think about it at all because it was normal to you as well. You didn't go, hey, how do these losers get this property? What are they doing with property? Shit, they look like they couldn't even walk the dog. 2 of the guys are so dumb, it took $10,000 and went and bought 2 tigers and didn't even pay attention to investigate if one was a male and one was a female. They brought 2 males back. These guys are not great investors. These people will not maintain property. But no one questioned. So I just want to point that out to you. That's a little something, Johnson. All right, can we go to phone calls real quick? We'll go to phone calls, Johnson. Phone call maybe up in here. All right, now don't leave, Johnson. Let me get some phone calls. Maybe these people talk. A couple of these people got something to say. Hope I can find that caller who wants to know why I supported somebody that they didn't support. Yeah, that would be great. I'd love to hear that. That'd be great. 757, you are live. What's your name? What is your comment?
Tim Black is Dan, a.k.a. Super Dan, riding through 95 right this minute, man. And, man, I ain't going to lie to you. There's a couple points I want to jump on. First and foremost, of course, is Nina. Man, I don't know whether I want to laugh or cry, man, because it's bullshit. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. Matter of fact, I think with every single one of your points tonight, I agree with you 100%. I'm going to apologize for being a little bit AWOL because I've got a new baby and all of that, trying to work, and my industry is tanking right now because whenever the economy does a little bit better, my industry does a whole lot worse because I don't get it, but that's the way it is. Fuel price is $6 a gallon. But you said that, and you were dead right. I mean, I couldn't agree with you more if you paid me. Nina's the absolutely best candidate in her race. Absolutely, 100%. You know, if there was somebody better, point them out to me. And I've supported her financially. I've supported her, you know, told everybody I know up in that area, which is not a lot of people, but they voted for her. there's not a better candidate. And matter of fact, throughout the entire House, and I would argue most, if not all, of the Senate, there's not a better not a better candidate that's for the people, for the people. And that's what their job is. Is I don't give a damn if it's Trump, Biden, freaking McConnell, whoever it is. You got to listen to the people. And Nina's got a gift that keeps on getting, I don't know if the word is ignored or just, like you said, they stacked the deck on her. They wouldn't spend all that money on her if she wasn't the best candidate in the race. But you hit the nail on the head. And it sucks, man. And like, real talk. I mean, emotionally, I don't know whether to laugh or cry or what, man, because it's so in your face. I mean, I was behind, the Bernie campaign first time around, second time around. When Gillum ran in my state of Florida, I tried to get behind him and did everything I could for him. And back-to-back losses with Nina now, it sucks getting your ass kicked over and over when you know you're supporting the best candidate. If not the best candidate available for that race, at the very least the best candidate that's in that race. I don't get it, man. I don't understand how people vote against their best interests every time. As you mentioned, I would vote for a Republican if I thought they were the best candidate in the race. I don't agree with 90% of what most of them say, but I'm never going to vote against my best interests. Why I didn't vote for Biden, because I didn't feel like he was in my best interest. He has a track record of it. I don't even know how much further I can go on that without really blowing up your spot, cussing up real bad, and maybe getting you in trouble. I wanted to tiptoe over to this abortion thing, man. I don't think quite people understand. Again, you've got to get out and vote at the very least for people that have your best interests at heart. Piggybacking on what I said about Nina, you got to. Now, these people are on record, and I don't know if there's any kind of legal repercussions behind it, but are on record saying that they wouldn't overturn Roe versus Wade, and they would never, I don't have a comment on it. You know what they're going to do. But I feel like that's impeachable. They took an oath. They swore under oath, and then they did the exact opposite. Man, if you or I did it, we're going under the jail. That's it. Bye-bye. I'll see you in a couple of years. I broke the law. I swore under oath, and I violated what I said. So I don't get that either. And I'm not pro-abortion, but what a woman does with her body and her life, I could tell my lady, hey, man, you know what? I don't want to abort this baby. But at the end of the day, it's not my choice. I don't have a vagina. I don't have the female parts to make that decision for myself. So I could advise, I could tell you, hey, man, maybe you shouldn't go steal or sell drugs or steal a car, or punch somebody in the face. But at the end of the day, that's your decision to make. Just the same, it's a hot topic, but I don't get it. And all these damn, as you call them, milquetoast damn Democrats, I don't get them. Pick a side of the daggone fence and stick with it. Stick with your guns. At the very least, stick with your constituents and you'll always be right. I don't understand how we're going to go back 50 years under this. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't register. Because I can tell you, it disproportionately affects inner city and especially the impoverished, because the people that got the money, I don't care if they're in Texas or Alabama or whatever, if they got money, they can go to Mexico and get an abortion. They can go to, and it's not just about abortion, it's also women's reproductive rights, not just abortion. I know a lot of people like to key on that. But the people of means can go to, somewhere else to a state where that would be legal. It more disproportionately affects people of color, most especially African Americans, Latino Americans, and every single time people of less money. And it's BS because, it might be a woman that making a decision that's against everything she believes in, but she knows she cannot raise that child right. Or maybe it's a product of rape or incest or whatever the case may be. Regardless of whether I believe in it or don't, it's not my place. It's not my vagina. And these damn Republicans, they say they want a smaller government. They want a smaller government, but they want to make sure it's just big enough to fit in a woman's vagina. And that's bullshit too, man. It's it infuriates me, man. You know, they want that small government, but they want to tell everybody else how to live their Christian ways. But everybody in this country is not necessarily Christian. And again, these are women that are making tough decisions because they know that they cannot give that child everything that they ask for. And maybe just that one thing that they can't give them is love for who it came from or what, you know, this, that, and the third. It pisses me off. And last but not least, man, I'm apologize for taking up other people's time and all that. But this whole thing in Ukraine and man, I saw the writing on the wall when they had under Trump and then under Biden the you know the biggest freaking militaries we've ever funded. We knew we were going to spend the money on something. I don't believe that Russia has a right to invade anybody. But at the same time, the fact that we're pumping out all this money for them people, when we could put that money right here at home for education, as you've mentioned a million times, for absolutely health care for every damn man, woman, and child in America, and for I mean, there's reparations especially because you give people a leg up, not a handout, but a leg up, and even that playing field that's been just cards stacked against you for hundreds of years, level that playing field and let's see where things fall. You know, but and back to there was a point I wanted to make about the abortion thing real quick, and that is, what are these people going to do for the women that can't have an abortion and don't have access to that? When them women now end up on food stamps or some kind of government assistance, you get what you ask for, and then you bitch about it because, oh, well, they're draining our system. They're draining our system. You made them do that by taking away the choice. And I'm not trying to take up too much of your time, man. God bless you, Tim Black, because, man, I don't know why you don't have your own damn spot on TV, your own channel or something, because you hit the hearts of Americans. I mean, everyday damn people, real people that bust their ass 40, 50, 60 hours a week. And just like the system is corrupted against the true politicians, it's corrupted against the true truth tellers too. And
Yeah, brother. Yeah, brother.
I mean, we saw that. I don't know, man. I don't want to go on no more. Trevor Noah sit there and called all them people out, man. And I, God bless him. I appreciate that because we need more people like you and him and others that'll just sit there and tell the truth, man. Again, I'm sure you got plenty of callers, but
yes, sir.
I'll end it there, man. I got nothing nice to say and nothing healthy other than God bless you all. God bless the Will Peck. Damn, what each one of y'all needs to share this. Hit that like button and you know, throw a couple dollars a month. You know, it'll make every bit of difference. If you like to hear the man's voice and what he says, please do.
My brother,
anyways,
my brother.
God bless you, Tim Black, man. You have a good week.
You too, Super Dan. Give it up for my caller, Super Dan, y'all. One of the great ones, Johnson. One of the good ones. One of the great ones. And also, congratulations, Super Dan, on the new baby. On the new baby. That's right, man. That's a beautiful thing, Johnson. That's a beautiful thing, man. I appreciate you, and I appreciate your comments, your kind words, but also your comments on the issues. And I want to say, there's a quote I saw today. Isaiah Washington made this quote, and it's actually from James Brown. And it says, I don't need a handout. Open the door and I'll go get it myself. That's from the late, great James Brown, Johnson. See, that's what people need to know. When people started getting at themselves, people got jealous. They said, what are these people that are not equal to me doing with more than me? Get what I'm saying? That's where the problems came in. All right, I'm going to go next call. 980, you are live. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hey, Tim, it's Andre, your friend from North Carolina. How you doing?
What's up, Andre? How you feeling, man?
I'm doing good. You know, staying up and joining the show because what you do here, what you bring is important. Look, I was watching Jordan's coverage of Nina's speech after the election results, and she said something so important that I wrote it down. And she said, the neoliberal type is not playing with us. We cannot play with them. We got to be disciplined. We got to be united. We cannot get off focus because the things this movement are fighting for are beautiful for all people. We have to be disciplined and we cannot play games. If you know, and I sound like a broken record, every time I call, I have one thing to say and one thing only. What's the plan? And she said a lot of that in her confession speech, which wasn't really a confession speech. I encourage people to look for it and to listen to it because she was on fire and she lit fire onto me. She focused a lot about stop playing games with people that are not playing games with us. Every time I call, I say the same thing. Why? Because you can smell a rat down the sewage. You can smell it. These people knew what they were doing. They played the long game, and that is another thing I've said before. We get caught up in foolishness. And when I say we, I don't mean you. I mean, the movement. We're either sometimes trying to be too pure. We're being hypercritical of people not acting the right way at the right time when we want them to act a certain way. And we have to make a distinction with calling people in the movement out for not doing the damn thing that they're supposed to do and laundering our dirty laundry in public. Because if you look at it really carefully, the Republicans, they never do that. Even if they have to look a fool on TV to stand for their people, they do that. And I'm not calling for being unethical in that way. I'm just calling for us to act like damn grown-ups and be smart. If we have a problem with AOC, if we have a problem with the squad, we do what we need to do as grown-ups and air our grievances with them. But when we go out on TV, when we say things in public on Twitter, on social media about our movement, we do no one any favors by deprecating our people. And I'm not saying that they are our Lord and Savior. They are public servants and they deserve to be criticized. But if you feel you can do it better, go out and do it yourself. Don't bring these people down. You don't know what they face. Nina stood up with his microphone, with Jordan's microphone, and she says, those people faced threats, and I'm not talking ill about them. She said that. And if there's anyone in this movement that has a high level of integrity, it is her. So she would have not said that publicly and lightly if she did not mean it and she did not have information that she was privy to. And again, I don't defend everything these people do because they're human, they make mistakes. But we need to be smarter about what we are doing and how we go about it, because this is no longer a joke. Abortion rights are out the window. Next thing that is coming, this could very well be the beginning of a secession between the country, because this is a big thing, and we are acting like if this is a joke. I got an email from this organization, the Lambda Legal Defense and Education Fund, that they look after LGBT people, and they put like legal defenses up for a lot of the cases that the LGBT community was fighting for back in the day and continue to fight for. And they brought up a very important point, that this whole abortion thing is only the tip of the iceberg, because the legal arguments that were the premise of this were individual liberty and right to bodily autonomy, which were the same arguments that were used to defend marriage equality. So what are they doing? Chipping away at the foundational argument used to protect people from making decisions of their own lives and liberties and happiness. That goes out the window. The Constitution becomes a piece of toilet paper. So I get it that we are frustrated. I get it that a lot of people say, if reparations is not in the voting, in this person's discourse, I'm not voting for him, or so and so. I get it. But right now, unfortunately, we do not have a movement designed to create radicalism. We do not. If we were smarter and more diligent and organized, maybe we could. Right now, we are only barely geared up for incremental change, which I do not agree with either. But we have to live in the reality of where we are. And another reality that where we are, our heads are on fire, and we need to start behaving like our hair is on fire. Okay? So with all the love in my heart, I just invite everybody in the chat that was talking smack about our people on the left. They are not perfect. Be kind, because we have our foot in mouth moments too, and we are far from perfect ourselves. We need to be decided and focus about the mission at hand, because this is serious and our lives seriously depend on it. Blessed you be, all of us listening tonight as well, and let's keep on keeping on the good fight. Thank you for giving me 2 minutes of a soapbox, or a little bit more.
My brother Andre, good up for my caller Andre, y'all. That's my brother right there. Thank you, Andre, for the phone call. And thank you for the additional context in what could be, what is a very serious situation with Roe versus Wade. And brother, honestly, I had not considered the ramifications, the sweeping ramifications of what they're really trying to do. And you're right, civil liberties. And that's something that I wanted to point to, is that with me, it's like, even if you say, Tim, I'm not a person who's, supports ending pregnancies, recognize body autonomy is a very serious situation, Johnson. And it's almost to a point of ownership. Like, if a person doesn't own what happens to them, know what I'm saying? Like, it's like the state saying, we decided what you could do with you. Right? And that's where it is. Like, if you listen to the actual Roe versus Wade, you start looking at the points, really, it's not so much about the state saying, hey, you could do this. It's about the actual procedures. It's about, this is this woman's private decision as an individual, as a human being. They have autonomy over themselves. This their privacy, what they want to do. And to a certain point, it's not up to the state to intervene or get involved in a personal decision. That's all. That's what the ruling originally in the language that I read anyway. So that's one thing. The other thing is, I appreciate your take on Nina, and I want people to know, like, Andre brings a good point as well, and I'm going to go to the next call, but I want to say this because I said it before. I wish I would have said it in my earlier monologue so more people would have heard it. Everyone listen to what I'm saying. We are too far behind, right? Things are too bad for people to go, okay, it's this, take it or leave it. Because America has shown they will leave it. I understand I understand the strategy behind what you want to do. It's not that I'm ignorant to, it's not like I don't get it. I get it, Johnson. It's just that we are too far behind. As a black man, as a father of black boys, we're too far behind, Johnson. With this criminal justice system, with life expectancy, with health in the environments, all the issues that we have, we as black fathers, our sons are too behind the 8 ball for you to be like, it's all or nothing, I'm checking out. It's too bad. Because America's very happy to say, fine, bye. Half of America don't vote now. Half of America is not engaged politically. That is not a viable strategy. In a country, they go, good. We've been spending money to stop you from voting anyway, motherfucker. Like, great. Thank you. Thank you. Good. Don't vote. Thank you. Don't you get it? You don't get that? That's why I say I'm very suspicious of people's true alternatives or their true motives, because America is very happy with you. Somebody's like, Tim, they're trying to make us vote. They want to find us. You know, there are other countries in the Western world where they already do that because they want you to vote. America does not want you to vote, by and large. Not really, Johnson. Get it? Why don't they want you to participate? I'm going to go next call, man. I appreciate y'all. 559. 559, you're live. What's your name? What's your comment?
Brother Tim, it's Brother Eric. Can you hear me okay?
Now you're good. Yeah, what's up, Eric? How you doing, man?
Excellent. I'm doing all right. Boy, there's a lot of heavy stuff. A lot of great callers, but a lot of excellent points. And see if I can hopefully add something to the dialogue. And the one thing about Roe v. Wade, and I've been saying this for years, to me it kind of comes down to a couple things. One is how you view women. You know, are women the burthen vessel, or are they an actual fully functioning human being? Whether you agree with them or not, again, they want to reiterate what previous callers said, and I think what you had said. Hey, it's like anybody else. I would prefer you not smoke. I would prefer people not drink. But you know what? That's not me. We live in America. They're free to make their own choices. Maybe in the whole, without going into a whole, getting existential in a whole lot of other, areas. Hey, she's the one that has to bring the child into this world. She's the one, maybe I as a man should be more careful on who I procreate with. And I get a kick out of a lot of these guys that say, well, yeah, see, it's destroying the family. It's to this. There's a whole lot of things that destroy the family. That's not one of them. And if you need coercion, which is what it sounds like, you hear a lot of these guys. It's kind of like those guys that say, that need their money or that need the car, that need the this in order to get girls to like them, right? They can't get people to like them just in and of themselves. They need a toy. They need a trick. And okay, this is a pretty draconian, it's a pretty awful trick to, to shack up some chick to, have you marry her or to have your, bury your offspring. That's pretty low down, but maybe that's just how he was raised. Because it does go farther than that. In fact, you could almost take this into what they're doing with, say, student loan forgiveness, a bunch of other things. This is being able to determine your future. You can't determine your future if you're not allowed to do something for yourself. Same thing like with being shackled with, say, student loan debt, because that debt you can't get rid of. Same thing, apparently, is what they're trying to do with a woman getting pregnant, because you can't get rid of student loan debt in bankruptcy. Whoops. Oh, you mean to tell me I can go on a splurge, rake the bank for millions of dollars if I went into business and went belly up and filed for Chapter 7? Oh, that's fine, but, I go to school to learn? Nope, you're going to, just like herpes, it's going to see you in hell. But that's kind of my thing with that. Now let's talk about Brother Chris Smalls, because that's going to be the key to a lot of this stuff. And I don't think enough people totally realize that. Hey, I would prefer Nina win, but you know what? She didn't. I want to reiterate again because I think it's very important what you said earlier. They only destroy the people that are an actual threat. They did the same thing to Bernie. Look what they did to destroy that man's campaign. They did the same thing to Nina. They're going to keep doing the same thing because it's worth it for them to keep the message. But you know what? You can't get rid of the message, because then let's look what Brother Chris did. He's still organizing. Yeah, Bessemer didn't work, but you know what? Worked in New York. It's starting to work other places. It's starting to catch on. And I'm not trying to drag out the tinfoil hat, but isn't this kind of interesting that we see this Roe v. Wade thing blowing up right when we see the labor movement starting to blow up? Because now what are we talking about? Now we're talking about this. We're not talking about workers' rights. We're not talking about the environment. We're talking about a whole host of other things. But see, this stuff is working behind the scenes. The people that you don't hear and see are the ones that are actually putting in the work. And that's at least the heartening thing. Take heart in that, because it's not, it's like voting. Voting's not an ATM machine. You don't go to it, punch in some numbers, and get out what you think you're owed. That's not how this works, guys. It takes work. Like you said, you got to put in the ground game. You got to get other people to see things the way you see them, to be a part of your movement. I guess where was Chris's black agenda? Where was Chris's Latin agenda? You know what he was for? He was for workers. You know who there's a lot of in the population in this country? There's a lot of workers. And to me, it's like the reparations thing. It's a labor dispute. You tie that in with, hey, a lot of us have been screwed out of our wages. Slaves were screwed out of their wages. Working conditions. You know what? That's right. And you know what? We need to get made whole. You know what? that's something I can get behind because that's something that's going to also benefit me. It's going to benefit everybody. Disproportionately, is it going to benefit black people? Sure. But that's kind of as it is with people who have been disproportionately hurt by the system that we're living in now. And at the end of the day, that's what it's going to take. It's going to take buy-in from a whole lot of other people because there's way more of us than there is them. And what I mean by them, I mean the ruling class. I mean the guys that are the billionaires. I used to tell the Trump people that I was around, I'm not voting for Trump because I'm not a billionaire. They looked at me kind of weird. Like, no, what the hell does a goddamn billionaire have my best interest in mind for? He doesn't. Not at all. So, and again, slowly but surely, changes minds. Again, it's a process. You keep putting in the work, and then all of a sudden, boom, there it is. And we'll leave it at that.
Brother Eric, my brother, give it up for my caller, y'all. Wow. Okay. I'm going to keep it moving, Johnson. I talked enough. Let me take a break. Let me keep it going. Next caller. 231, you're live. What's your name? What's your comment?
Good evening, Mr. Black. Abigail's dad up here in Michigan, hanging in there.
Yes, sir.
Boy, that's a tough call to follow there. I still got my tinfoil hat. I have to agree. I really do. It seems like, the important thing, there's always one of these big, huge, just blow up, things right on the horizon. Because if there wasn't this war in Ukraine, and there wasn't Roe versus Wade, there wasn't all that, we might be paying attention to what's happening in stock markets, what the Fed's doing with printing money. We might be paying attention to all that, but there's way too much news. All right, now let me put my tinfoil hat away. On a different note, I got a very serious question for you, and that's why I called in tonight, was I just want to know if you remembered the first time you went live on your channel and some thoughts around it or some feelings. You don't have to answer that if you want, but if you want to, I would be all ears. We've been working on a little channel here that we've been building, and it's getting towards that time. And now all those jitters and shakes and those reservations are kicking in, and I want to do it, and I don't know. And so with that, I'm going to leave it. If you don't want to and just want to keep on moving, I'm cool with that too. But you have a good night there, Mr. Black.
You got it, brother.
Cut the check.
You got it, brother. Thank you. I can tell you something. Damn, brother. When I first started this channel, first of all, I had more than one channel. And I had the other channel before I had this channel. So back it was 2012. I just had something to say and I wanted to say it. Don't make it harder than it needs to be, Johnson. You have something you want to say and you don't know if anybody's going to listen. And as long as you get to say it, that's the goal. That's the goal, to express yourself. And that's all it was. And I just kept going. And I think that's the key to it. There was one point I wanted to get better. And so for 90 days, I did a show for 90 days every day. I figured some people only go live or only do content once a week. So if I do content every day for 90 days, I have 2 years worth of experience in 90 days. Almost 2 years worth of experience. So then after that, I kept it going. I said, let me do another. So repetition makes you better, and you can always get better. I can get better now. I can still get much better. That's another beautiful thing about it. You can become a better storyteller. You can become a better communicator. You can become a better editor. And you can reach more people. You can help more people in whatever you're trying to do. So that's it, man. I hope that helps. Just do it. Whatever you got right now, just do it. And I've got a webcam laying around, so if you need a webcam, let me know. All right. Wolfpack. Okay. 312, you alive. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hello, this is 312. How you doing, Tim?
What's up, brother?
Good. Got a couple of comments here. First thing I wanted to mention, just talking about Tesla. Nobody or people should be informed that I think a lot of people are under the misconception that Elon Musk created Tesla. Elon Musk did not create Tesla. He came after the fact. It was a guy out of University of Illinois, an engineering student, and another guy out of the University of California, Berkeley. These are the two people who founded Tesla. Elon Musk came after the fact. He was one of the first big, people to finance the company. And basically he did what people would call a hostile takeover. He basically pushed the founders out, took the company over, and basically built it up from there. So I don't know if a lot of people, they like loving the bad guy, if that's their thing, or if they're just under the assumption that this guy actually did create this electric car company, which he did not. People go back and do their homework. They'll, see that what I'm saying is factual. Didn't create the company. Yeah, the guy's got a bunch of money, but basically he's one of these, rich guys. You look up the history. This guy grew up in South Africa. His dad was one of these people basically exploiting the continent, a ton of money. And this is the history that this guy comes out of, So apartheid South Africa, that's what was going on at the time when this guy was growing up there with his dad. That's the story with Elon Musk, okay? Nobody to envy or be like, I wish I was this guy. No, you don't. You don't wish you were this guy. This guy is not somebody I think you will want to emulate. Second comment, I love what Nina Turner is doing. I think what happened with Nina Turner is basically what happened with Cynthia McKinney. If people remember Cynthia McKinney, she was a U.S. rep down in Georgia, served for quite some time. Cynthia McKinney came out and was very pro-Palestine. And you had forces out here that did not appreciate her being pro-Palestine, and they put up big money to push her out of office. And that's why, Cynthia McKinney is no longer the U.S. rep down in Georgia. And I believe that's pretty much what happened with Nina Turner. He's made, some pro-Palestine comments. Powers that be don't appreciate that. And it basically pulled out that Cynthia McKinney playbook. We got to put money behind getting her out or making sure she doesn't even get in. And so, you got what you got. So, yeah, I think a lot of, African-American politicians are careful not to go up against these powers that don't want you to talk about Palestine. And so they do hold their tongue,
okay, brother,
when it comes to speaking about Palestine.
All right, brother. I appreciate the phone call,
I love Nina Turner, and I hope.
Yeah, yes, sir. Thank you, man. I got to keep it moving, brother. But thank you for the phone call. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. All right. Okay, lost a few people there. Shit. 571. You're live. What's your name? What's your comment? $571. Can't hear you. I got nothing, 571. All right. Let me go to my other call. 717. You're live. What's your name? What's your comment? 717.
Hi, Tim. This is Tony from Pennsylvania.
What's up, Tony?
So I want to talk about this situation with the Supreme Court. Now, it looks to me like the Republicans just shot themselves in the foot because this was their biggest campaign, the biggest fundraising wedge issue that, now they're not going to be able to say, if you elect me, then I'll overturn Roe v. Wade because it's already done. Now they're going to have to find some other reason to squeeze dollars out of the people who don't have money to give anyway. The people who are really in control of the money, they don't give a damn about a woman's right to choose. And a matter of fact, these guys are out there getting their mistresses pregnant and then paying for them to have an abortion so that it doesn't affect their career. It doesn't get them kicked off the board of directors or get them voted out of office. This is also going to motivate people who never voted before. That, people who think, oh, all the parties are the same. Well, now they're realizing it's not.
All right, brother. Well, Tony, man, I appreciate you, Johnson, for the phone call. Give it up for my caller, Tony. I tell you, Johnson, I tell you. 847, you're live. What's your name? What's your comment? 847.
Hey, 847, Bobby P. from Illinois. Nina ran all the way, so congrats from the Wolf Pack for that. You were always there, Tim, since the beginning. And, here we are about the Roe versus Wade. The abortion thing, Tim, I solved it. I figured it out. Abortion will never be a problem again. You guys got to hear me on this one. So we just make the morning after pill. Right now it's prescription only, and, it's kind of pricey. You make it not prescription, right? And you make it not so pricey, so people can go to their local Walgreens the next morning or whatever when it opens up and take care of that. And then you don't have to worry about the having it. And then, you know what? Another thing, we talk to our evangelical brothers and sisters and non-identifying evangelicals, and we say, we have the freedom of religion. It's beautiful. And with that, with the separation of church and state, I don't have to follow your faith. And the best thing is you don't have to follow mine. So if I want to talk about, let's join, we had my job and a supervisor and say, let's join hands for Krishna, or join me a chant for Muhammad, or, you don't have to participate in that. If you tell an evangelical that, they'll be like, whoa, I only follow Jesus. Well, it's like, hey, this is what the other people feel if you try to impose your stuff on them. I mean, and I think I love that faith. I love a lot of faiths. And there's a lot of good philosophy that you can use instead of that one. So another thing, you support adoption agencies. You give orphanages subsidies, and you get education to be really great. So then those kids can get awesome education. And you know what? They become great citizens. And you give people the option with the culture. Another thing you could do is we could fight poverty and the illusion of scarcity with a balanced and humanistic global economy. That would be really cool. And then people won't feel like, they have to do these things, in case what if there's a chance they do want it? And if not, they could just take it to term. And if adoption's an option, just go ahead and go with that. Because that's fine. And with the leak, with it being a leak, it got my wheels turning with the labor. I'm just glad people are mobilizing. They did say that it might happen in a couple of months, so that might have something to do with the timing. And also everybody's kind of hinting at politician runs. So maybe I didn't solve abortion there, but some things to consider. And another thing, just real quick about Nina, and she did mention at the end of her concession speech or whatever that there's something with the 24 coming around, and I was wondering, hey, is that something with the Bernie, or is that a speaking tour? To be more specific, she was saying that she was going to take her message to different states. People might be open to it, And I applaud independent media during this whole thing, because everybody came out and they talked and, they said what they believed and, anyway it went, at least we were talking, at least we tried. We didn't just all, we didn't all just like lay down. And that's, even though we didn't win today, that's something that I feel really empowered by, that all of y'all and everybody around it, we just feel like, we're not defeated. We're just getting started. That's what, Megan was saying, we keep the fire. So wherever she goes, I believe in what she has to offer. Like I believe in what y'all have to offer. Be it small, large, local, national, the human, to an animal, to a plant. Like I believe in what y'all have to offer. So everyone have a good night. Thank you so much for having me. Bye. Peace
All right,
out.
brother. Thank you for the phone call, man. I appreciate it. Give it up for my caller, y'all. 847. $704, you alive? What's your name? What's your comment?
It's your boy, B. Ben Israel, the People's Champ, Charlotte, North Carolina. How you doing, Mr. Black?
What's up, B? What's going on, brother?
Hey, I'm back. Listen, a couple points I need to make. First of all, Sanders Turner 24. Let's do it. Secondly, let's talk about Roe versus Wade. This isn't about women's choice. Women have choices. We haven't taken a choice away. We're just forcing them to be accountable for a change. So, particularly in the black community, for the last 50 years, over 21 million black babies have been murdered. And it's not because of incest or RAPE or any of that. It's because of lack of accountability. They still have 37 forms of birth control. It's time to be accountable for those babies. And just like you, I'm a father of 4, 2 boys, 2 girls, have a granddaughter. My daughters don't have any babies. My son took his baby back from the mother because the mother basically abandoned the child. He's raising that baby on his own with no social services or any assistance. He's doing it all by himself, like 98% of black men do when they're single parents. But it's time for our community to stop taking accountability away from our women because they're doing nothing but destroying the black community over the last 50 years. There is no black community right now. We just have a bunch of individuals. What black women need to do is stop trying to be the face of white women's liberalism or whatever they wanted to do, because that's what's about to happen now. The Democrats are going to use this to galvanize black women to get them to come out for 2024. But it's not in our best interest. It's time to be accountable. That's what we have to do. Stop making these babies that you don't want with men you don't want to have them by. Because 51% of black men are single and childless. The 80% of these babies that are being born to single mothers.
All right. I gotta stop you there, man. I gotta stop you there because you said so many things that I disagree with. I just gotta stop you. Sorry, man. It's kind of offensive as well. Okay, so when you say that black women are not accountable, I think black women are the most accountable women in America. How can you not be accountable? What special treatment are black women getting that I don't get this? So that doesn't make sense to me, that black women are not accountable. These black women that do have these children, just take 2 people that have children. Hate to bring that up, but somebody chose to have sex with that person and someone made a child with that person or got that person pregnant, I should say. So now we're going to get into the whole when's it a baby? When is it not just, at one point it has become a child and all that stuff. But which is a conversation for someone else to have. That's really not mine. It's not my forte. I will say though, black women, I don't think black women are trying to be anything for the white feminists or whatever. That's what they use. That's what they're being used. It's not, you don't have to choose to be used, Johnson. Like, I don't think black women are deciding to become a part of anything. I don't think that's the case. I think that people get manipulated. And I think that people manipulate things for narrative. It doesn't even have to be true. It doesn't even have to have the numbers. Most black women don't have to feel a certain way for the media to take something and frame it as a narrative. Get what I'm saying? So, like, unless you can produce proof, which you can't, that black women are, hey, I'm going to join the white feminists and do certain things and not build a community. And if your argument is that black people don't have a community, I'd like to know what white people have, because I don't think they do either. And I would also like to point that I think that if we don't have a community, it has something to do with being subjugated by the dominant society for the last 300 years. Like, you can't leave that out. You can't leave out all the other statistics that have put us in a certain condition in the United States. So, like, all these different factors, you kind of gloss them all over. And yeah, man, I said I was a granddad, but that's my family, dog. That's me being a grandfather. It's not a decision I made. That's a decision my daughter made. Get what I'm saying? And that is not a feather in one's cap, nor is it give you carte blanche to kind of make a bunch of sweeping statements about what all people need to do. Everyone has different circumstances. I think a lot of what happens is financial. Just my experience. A lot of decisions are based on finances. And those finances go back to generational poverty, brother. So these problems, like it's like when you're going to look at a problem and say, why aren't you doing this? You got to look back and say, okay, what options were presented? Can't just look at the actions yesterday. You got to look at like because the decisions that you make are by and large greatly influenced by the positions that you find yourself in as a child. I mean, it's already pretty known that if you are born into poverty, you will die into poverty. And now things have gotten so bad that even if you had boomer parents who were able to put you in the middle class, the likelihood of you going back into the underclass is highly probable, just due to the structure of our society. If you are black, not if you're Latino, not if you're white. So start asking those questions. Make those questions be just as important as this issue. You know, as the who's having babies issue. No. So yeah, I just had to push back, man. This is not a platform for dogging black women and saying black women are the problem. Or that's another channel, brother. You know, it's not a politics I'm going to indulge. Know why I go back and forth with you on it. I would just suggest you go to a channel that does that. I would not allow people to call up and shit on black men. And you would say, Tim, go ahead, brother. My man stood up to him. Well, that's all I'm doing with you. So that's what I said on that. So, you know, I want to make that clear. We're not going to call up and say, black women and what's wrong with the black community. And we don't have a community. So there can be what's wrong with the community if you say we don't have a community. And, yeah. I think that's all I wanted to say to him, man. But man, I'm sure there's a pro-black channel that does this shit, Johnson. Yeah, man. Call that channel and say all the shit you said there. All that, take that over there. Same thing when people want to call up and bash certain other nationalities. There's a lot of channels. I know this is a show people call up, but I get to choose who calls up. Because my name's on this shit over here. So call that other show and say whatever you want. Not on this show, though. We will not defame black women on this show. I will not have you defame anybody on this show as a group. And black women are a group. Just not the ones that aren't doing what you think they should do, but they're still a part of the group, of a group. All right, I'm going to keep it moving, John. So let me go to the next call. Gotta make my damn job hard, man. I hate that. 316, you are live. What's your name? What's your comment?
Yo, what up? My name is Steve. I'm trying to get a hold of you. I've been on hold for like 30 minutes.
Yeah, Steve, I got
Tell you
hey,
what.
Steve, I got a show, brother, and I have a lot of callers. And you are just Steve, brother. So that's why it took 30 minutes. Not a good way to start the show, because I don't know whose show you think you called, but you called my show, sir. So just bring it down a notch. Don't be an asshole, because you can wait another 30 minutes and never get to talk. So I'm gonna give you another shot. Give you another shot, Steve. All right, go ahead, Steve. Now, what's your comment,
Here,
brother? You talked the whole time.
don't get mad at me right now.
He talked so much, he didn't even hear what I said. He's so busy talking, he didn't listen to a goddamn word I said. Okay, Steve, we're not going to tell me what to do on my show. I just mute your ass. It ain't even hard, Johnson. So, hope you listening now, because I'm going to go back one time. Just one time, Johnson. All right? I'm a grown-ass man. You're a grown-ass man. Let's have some civility. Whatever you disagree with me with, go ahead and say it. I'm going to give you the shot. Last time, though. Okay, Steve, what's wrong, Steve?
All right, bro. All right, so I'm just saying, please don't get mad at me and dox me and send.
Sir, if you don't say, that's it. That's it. Bye, Steve. There you go. Here we go. Bye, Steve. There it is. There you go, Johnson. Don't dox me. Karen, you are Karen Johnson. And Karens don't get to come on the show. All right, we'll keep it moving. Yeah, let's go to 3. Know what I need now? I need a familiar voice of someone who I kind of know what kind of call it's going to be. So I'm going to go to my friend, 352. 352, you're live. What's your name? What's your comment?
I love you, bro. Hey, this abortion thing. I can't believe you said I want to go to a kind boy. You can't don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. You showed me too much love on that one, you son of a gun. I didn't know that was coming. Don't be showing me love like that. You show me that on the side. Don't do that on the air. You send me an email with the love. Don't fucking lose your reputation on the air. Get soft with me on the air. Do that fucking stuff on the side. You're doing that to me on the air. But I couldn't believe when I saw the thing that this morning with the judge report on the judge about overturning in the back room Roe versus Wade. And I'm thinking to myself, I said, are you kidding me? After fucking all the shit people went through to get this right, how many years ago? 50 plus? And now you're going to turn over. And I said to myself, how are women ever going to get a grip on this? And I thought it hit me like I said, all women have to do, if the judges come out on whatever it is, June, they come out with a decision and they say they're overturning this, I say all the women, they could get that reversed in 24 hours. All they have to do is go out on strike and say, no more pussy until you get this law right. No more sex until you get this law right. To use the other word. But no more sex until you guys get this right. All right? If you guys don't get this law right, do not come in my bed. Do not come in my bed. Don't call me. No, all those judges will run right back into the court and say, oh, we made a mistake. Sorry. All women have to do is say, yeah, you guys ain't got this law.
90
you know
seconds.
We ain't having sex with you guys no more. That law will change right back. All right? You can't tell a woman what to do with her body. You can't tell. A man definitely can't tell a woman. Nobody should tell a woman what to do with her body. We thought we had this right. And now you guys are going to turn. I said, women, if they ain't getting this right, just start a strike tomorrow. Say no more sex until you get this friggin' thing right. That law will be changed, the quickest law reversal ever in history.
60 seconds.
All women have to do is say, no more sex. These guys are screwed up. No more. Those judges will run right back into court and say, we're reversing this call. Sorry, we made a mistake. I love you, my brother. Good night. I'll leave it short and sweet because the phone's running out. I'll call you later. All right. Bye-bye.
Give it up for my man, Gary Johnson. What's funny? What's also funny about this? It was a movie called Chirac by Spike Lee, and it was like he wanted to stop violence in Chicago, and all the women got together and said, "Okay, we're gonna stop violence in Chicago because we ain't gonna sleep with none of these men until they stop violence. And anybody does anything violent, there will be no sex had at all." Now, I didn't watch that movie. That's what I heard the premise was, and people were calling the movie out. But
10 seconds.
I just remember that being a talking point about the movie. I don't know how well it went over with the public, but 484.
Hey, what up, Tim?
What up, man? Who's this?
It's Will, man.
Will, what's up, brother?
What's up with you, man? I just got a few points, man. I hope, I know you in your bag today. You a little tick. I don't want to push no buttons or nothing, but I just want to keep it real because every time I watch you, I feel like you keep it real. So therefore, I'll be like, damn, when I feel like I can talk to you, but I'll be like, on his posture, I don't know if you really can talk to him because I don't think you can really keep it real with him on that show. But anyway, I'm gonna go to the abortion first because you might have to cut me off. I don't know, but we're gonna go there first and then we see what's gonna happen. But anyway, I feel like with the abortion, I feel like women should be able to get abortions. I don't believe it's a human right because a doctor has to perform it. So therefore, I kind of don't believe that it's a human right. Well, it's not even, they don't even consider it a human right. They consider it a woman right. And with the United States, they always, when they talk to black people, they say we can't make specific laws for specific groups. We got to kind of umbrella our laws so it can tell to everybody. So therefore, I don't believe in specific rights for specific people. And that's kind of we in this is a white country. I'm sorry. So it's kind of if black people ask for something, we kind of gotta just ask for it for everybody. Because at the end of the day, we know it. But it gotta be. It gotta actually go to everybody, or at least under certain salary thresholds or whatever the case may be, if it's monetarily. But I believe if women do have the right to abort, I believe men should have some type of right to abort it. Not even abortion, because we can't necessarily tell them what to do with their bodies. But at the end of the day, I'm a person that take care of my kids. But when I hear this argument, I always look at my friends and stuff. I'm like, they can't do nothing about if they didn't want the kid. They can say, I didn't want them, and you want them. But then when a woman says they don't want the kid, but the man wanted, then they I'm getting an abortion. They no, I want the kid. They said they still going to get an abortion. So it's never, a man can never preserve his seed. So it's just more so all right, a man can't have no type of autonomy over a woman, or let a man be able to have autonomy over his finances, because at the end of the day, that's your body that you put to work, and you make your own financial decisions, and that wasn't in your financial decision. So therefore, it should be, at least it is even. I don't think it would be so easily to overturn, because it's more so of an even playing field when it comes to that, and people would make better decisions because women would be like, I can't use this baby as an anchor baby, so far as in trying to lock a man in or whatever they be doing. So that's one of the things. So far as in Nina Turner, I'm gonna be honest. I love Nina Turner. I loved her energy, but when it came to certain things, it was she let her guard down a couple of times, and it was just she said some stuff that just made people believe that she would fall straight into the fold of the squad. So when people said leadership, and she just said a few things, and it seemed like she wouldn't have leadership, it would seem like she would always curtail to bend to the squad. Then it was just you is a lose. Then it's we can't put another one in. We don't. It's we don't want to. I don't know. It's we want to hold people responsible and hold people accountable and put their feet to the fire when they go in. And it's just you can't. Once they get in, they say don't talk to them. Don't say nothing to them. they in here now. You can't say nothing to them now. It's like, and then it's like, but you in power. We like, if I'm your constituent, I'm going to ask certain things from you, and I should be able to. And it's not even what they say, ridiculing you or whatever the case may be. Is just asking certain things of you. And if you feel as though that a lot of people is asking the same thing, how about you do it instead of saying that we're attacking you? We're not attacking you. We're asking for things because you're our representatives. Now, besides that, I love your show, man. You let me keep it real right now. So I love your show. Like, I know I probably said some things that's triggering to a lot of people in the comments because women don't believe men should have no rights at the end of the day. And hold on one thing. I don't like the fact that women is becoming detaching themselves from their groups. When I look at these, I'm looking at certain things within the media. I'm seeing that women are turning into their own particular group, and they dissecting themselves from men. So when it comes to the Black community, so far as the LGBT, a lot of our brothers and sisters went that way with that. And when we have certain arguments, so far as in us asking things from the government, if LGBT people will not stand with you if they feel as though that their needs are being met. Now, women feel as though that, we can get something, and if our needs are being met, we can walk away from Black people and whatever the case may be. And, well, Black men at the end of the day, because leaders in communities usually are Black men, so far as in people that actually create systematic change. So far as Malcolm X, Huey P., and I can go on and on and on and on. Like, a lot of those men made change. I've seen a few women, but it's way more men. And a lot of women, just so far as Rosa Parks and stuff like that, like, those was little incrementals, but men actually made real systematic change. And I see that the system knows that taking men away from women is going to hurt our community. And I don't think that women should be fighting men so hard on certain things. If they want equal rights and everything like that, so far as the abortion law, if they want to overturn it, they should overturn it with some type of equal overturn where it's like, our child support it has to be somewhat contractual or something like that within a relationship. It got to be something equal, whereas though men can walk out if you want to walk out on your responsibility, because it will make women at least see the hypocrisy and say, I'm not going to walk away from my responsibility. If rape victims, they should be able to get abortions, no doubt. Any type of women that have been abused, they should have abortions, no doubt. But so far as in people that just made bad decisions, they should have some type of equal responsibility. Whereas though, if a man can do the same thing you can do, so therefore it will make men and women make better decisions so far as in who they going to lay down with. Because women would say, I'm not going to lay down with Pookie because he can walk away. And men would say, I'm not going to lay down with Shaniqua because she can abort my baby at any given time, even though I want this baby or I want to have a baby with her. But that's my piece.
All right, brother. Lord have mercy. Give it up for my caller, Will, y'all. Will. Oh, God. Oh, Will. Well, brother, at least you didn't call that with all the disclaimers and all the bullshit, man. Jesus Christ. You're right, I do disagree with you. Yeah, but let me explain why, John. So let me explain. I think there's a fundamental difference historically that we need to address. And that is, for many years in this country, women didn't have rights. So we need to kind of acknowledge that there was a trajectory the country was on, okay? Back in the day, like we're talking 20s, 30s, and remember, America's been around for hundreds of years. So not that long ago, white women, if they got divorced from their husband, the husbands got the kids. White woman was considered to be damaged goods, like throwaway. The men owned the property, the men made the money, the women stayed home, and it was kind of interchangeable, like make kids stay home. What if the woman wanted to do more than that? And we're not even going to talk about what black women's role was. It was a little bit more equal as far as within our own households. That's because we were third-class citizens, even if you want to consider us citizens. Not even sure if we could consider ourselves citizens if we're not getting the same treatment that white citizens are getting. But I'll say third-class citizens, okay. So from that vantage point is where you start having the conversation. In fact, I'll go so far to say this, Johnson. You say, won't keep it real? Let's keep it 100. I don't believe we have abortion in America. I don't think abortion becomes legal in America if it wasn't for the fact that black women can have it. Let me repeat myself. I don't believe abortion becomes legal in America if it wasn't for the fact that black women could have them. I think that's the only reason why they have abortion. Because it was up to a majority of white men who were controlling everything. They just had white women at home making babies. Huh? And black women making babies too. Get what I'm saying? That's how America was run for hundreds of years, Johnson. Black women weren't even considered women other than the pleasure or to work for white people. So now we're in a different space. Okay? And believe me, it took me a while to get to this, because for a long time when I was a younger person, as a younger man, I looked at it probably like you, like black men don't have the agency. Why don't men get to have more control? You do have control. It's called not having sex with that woman you're not married to. Because it's a crapshoot. That's what it's called. It's called, hey, I'm going to go home tonight. Hey, I'm going to wear this. Hey, I'm not going to engage with this person who I don't know, who I don't have an agreement with because we're not married, and we got no understanding other than I like her, she like me, I met her tonight, or I've been dating her for a couple of weeks, or whatever. Because if women don't have control over their bodies, it goes right back to almost the way it was, which is women are now slaves to men who want to knock them up, right? And if they control the finances and make most of the money, then those women become under the control of those men and too much of a dominant factor. You get what I'm saying? I'm not saying that's the way black families were, but I'm saying basically, not every white family was like this. So let's not get it twisted. I'm not talking about everybody. But I'm saying, as I look back at history, okay, that's the way I see it going. That's the way I see it evolving. I've heard the argument that if women can end a pregnancy, a man should be able to end support. I see that point. I see your point. I get your point. Everyone's not in my position, Me and Mrs. Black, 3 kids, grandkids, get along fabulously. You know what I'm saying? Everybody doesn't have that, and I realize that. I got friends. It's crazy. Like, one of my best friends, we're not best friends anymore. You know why? Because my life is so different from his. We're the same age. In fact, he's 2 or 3 years older than me. But he's not married. He's got a child that he's never had custody of. And he damn sure ain't got no grandkids. He's still going to the club, telling me about new women he met. I'm like, dog, our lives are so different. So I recognize my life is different from your life. You know what I'm saying? And that's part of how people form the judgments in their head about what makes sense to them based on their own experiences. Okay? What often happens, woman meets man, you say she doesn't make good decisions, which is being with that man, who also, who's making good decisions, who's making the bad decisions? Is the decision the guy makes a good decision or a bad decision? It's kind of contradictory. You're kind of contradicting yourself when you say these women are not making good decisions. What decisions are the men making? But you're saying men should be able to get out of their decisions if women can get out of their decisions. It's like, yeah, but it's a little different because one is money. But remember, back before, what is it, 19? I'm trying to remember the year, Johnson. There wasn't always child support. And there wasn't always jail. And people coming to get you. That's when we started having black people trying to exercise some autonomy. It wasn't always like that, Johnson. All I'm saying is look at things historically as you formulate your opinions, and you start seeing some, catch the thread on the other side is what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Like catch the thread and realize how we get to this point. I'm just not comfortable with telling people what they can do with themselves. Because everyone has different situations. You don't have to agree with what someone does. Right? Because it's not your decision. Because it's not you. And I hesitate, and I don't just hesitate, bro. Like I can say whatever I want to say. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not under any obligation to any political party or anyone to have a certain opinion. You know what I'm saying? This is just how I feel about it. I feel like it's not as cut and dry as people want to make it be. And it's not missed upon me that the only two people that called up who were kind of shitting on a woman about it were two black guys. And we haven't had any women call tonight. Maybe I'll get lucky. It's getting late in the phone cycle. But I'm sure this conversation will continue until Friday. Hey, look, dog, Will. I like you, bro. I'm glad you called up. You seem sincere. It's cool. I want to be clear. The reason why I hung up on the last guy was not because I disagreed with him. I thought this shit was toxic and on some bullshit. You know? And that's not Ben. The guy that I didn't hang up on Ben. I just had to get Ben off the phone because he gonna run all my viewers off with that shit. Basically saying black women are fucked up. And I can't let you say that on my show, Johnson. You can say that on your own platform. You know? I can't have you say that on my show. But the only guy really ran off was the dude calling up, you ain't gonna like this. Yeah, okay, well, why would I want to take a call? I had to wait on hold. Yeah, you know what? If you call the Corey Holcomb show, they don't even take phone calls no more. They used to take phone calls. They stopped taking phone calls because people like that guy. I remember when the Corey Holcomb show took phone calls. But I know some other people that you call this show with that shit, they'd have hung up the first time. They would have kept giving them chances. They just would have, or roasted his ass. I know a couple of people that would have roasted him for 20 minutes. At least I kept it moving. But look, I know this conversation is going to continue because it's one of those hot topics, you know what I'm saying? So phone lines will be open again on Friday. Believe me, y'all, a lot of people want to weigh in. I'm not going to say you're a bad person, Will. At least you, I disagree, but I think, I disagree. Oh, about Nina. I got to say this, Charles. It's difficult to be a politician. It just is. You not only want to please your voters and the people that you want to help put you in office, you also don't want to piss off the people you want to go align with to try to get shit done with. Get what I'm saying? Like, so we want her to say, people want Nina Turner to say certain things that will make her be ostracized if she were to win, where she would be almost ineffective. But that would make them happy. Get what I'm saying? And make no mistake about it, what my caller said was true. It was her support of Palestinians that raised the ire of certain special interest groups. And in turn, what happened? Even supporting them those people did not come out. They did not come out. You think if she would have said reparations, that all of a sudden all these people that came out and all these people who don't even vote or give money to politicians would all of a sudden started doing so? They'd have just said, hey, I like what she said, and she would have gotten trampled. Because it's one thing to like what somebody says, it's another thing to really support them. Most of the people that are so upset don't even live in the district. They weren't going to vote. They just like watching certain commentators. Which fortunately or unfortunately, however you look at it, doesn't really determine an election, but it sure enough leaves a bad taste in your mouth. I hope that Nina stays on the scene And I hope that she becomes more vocal about those people who shitted on her. Because I saw them shitting on her a year ago. And I took all the arrows. People sat back and watched me take all their incoming, because they wanted her to run this third party and she didn't. They were supporting the third party that didn't even have ballot access in her fucking state. Meaning she couldn't run as them, even if she wanted to, which would have been a catastrophe. She'd have lost by 5 times as much as she lost by. But they have an agenda, and their agenda, and I get it, their agenda is to build another party. They don't care how racist that party is, if that party supports black people, if that party is effective, if it can even get ballot access. They just care about starting a third party. I don't know how good it is to start a party that doesn't have your best interest. What fucking good is that, Johnson? So I'm not going to say everything Nina does is what I would do, but I will say I know it's not as simple as people want to make it. It's a lot of things to keep in your head at one time as you do this. And it's easy to say, just say what you feel. Yeah, that's how you end up like Tim Black. When I said what I feel, people took it and lied, and people still believe the lies. I got people that know me, who've been watching me for 5 years, watch somebody else say I said something, watch 30 seconds of a live stream, of an hour and a half live stream, and formed an opinion off of it about a guy they've known for 8 years. So don't tell me just speak your mind. That ain't enough. And those motherfuckers did not come out to have my back. So I know how dirty, and I'm not even a politician, Johnson. But at the time, what was I? Probably the most influential black, and I think I still am the most influential black political leftist in America. Who else? And don't say Roland because he don't count. They didn't like that. And they didn't like seeing me with Nina Turner and Cornel West. They didn't like that shit. And Killer Mike for a week up in Ohio. But people don't think. They have theories. They can see conspiracy theories when it's Epstein. They see conspiracy theories when it's Joe Biden trying to stop Bernie. But they don't see conspiracy theories when it's just basic right the fuck in front of them. Right there. It's very simple and plain. So I'm going to go to the next call. I think we got like one more person who called up who didn't get a chance to talk. Let me make sure, Johnson. Because I don't like leaving people out, Johnson. But I'm going to try my, 617 number. 617, you're live. Yo.
Tim Black.
You're live, 617. Who's this?
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you. Who's this?
This is Tehran calling from Pennsylvania.
All right, brother.
Enjoy the show. I've called before. Been a while. Calling in. Just disappointed about Nina's loss tonight. Thought needed a little consoling. Shoulder to cry on this evening. I watched Status Quo's Jordan Charlton's coverage of the results tonight. He did a pretty good job there. Not to mention someone else's channel, but pretty in-depth coverage. Good interview with Nina at the end and stuff. And she's still leaving 2024 open for whatever reason, I don't know. But she did that, and it's just disappointing to see that she couldn't get out of her own county. She couldn't win in her own city for whatever reason, and just being unable to prepare for what Brown brought in terms of the money and the ads. She just didn't seem, this is Nina, didn't seem as if she was really, prepared or able to get over that hump the second time. I thought she would have had a better game plan to prepare for what they were bringing to her, but she did not, and she took the L, and it's unfortunate. And I really think that puts her in doubt as a national figure for the left. Although she will be, just because she checks a lot of boxes for left politics in America, but she doesn't have a title behind her name. She's not an elected official, and I think that really diminishes her real reach in terms of politically. So it's tough. It's tough. I feel like it's a bit of a wilderness thing. We're out stuck in the wilderness. A lot of lost souls. A lot of people looking for a home. A lot of people trying to find mama. We're like ET or something. It's tough for I think the lefties and people who want to see some elected officials. I know people beat up on Nina and those folks and everybody wants a third party, and that's my second point here. Is that I hear you with these people who want the third party. It's the MPP crowd, man. They're a funny bunch. It's a bunch of, I don't know. They seem like they are, they know what they're talking about, or they seem like they understand politics. But if you scratch the surface, they're just libertarians who want health care, and they don't really give a shit about the left. They don't really give a shit about black politics. I mean, come on. And they just kind of want to throw acid on everything and see what happens. And so they're not really for any real political movement. These third party left folks, they're a funny bunch. And, I think they're, it's going to be very difficult to unite them under the same flag as we move forward. I think that, I say we in terms of, people who want to see an elected left. So it's just, the activist left, the elected left, it's going to be hard to see through that MPP mess, because they're putting shit in the game, in my opinion. I'm sure you share that opinion in your experience. So, moving forward, it's important, I think, that, the midterms are going to be interesting, and just seeing how things will shake out there. I think there's going to be a lot of butt whooping, a lot of cans of ass whooping being opened for the Democrats, and we're going to see Biden just be, what's that term, lame duck for 2 years, and him blaming the Republicans and so forth and so on, and we're going to see more stuff. I think the Roe v. Wade is one sort of domino, and I think you're going to see others fall in terms of right-wing policies and the voting and the access and the abortion and all these things. It's just going to be, they're going to be gaining more traction and more power. Just wait and see. This is just one of the boxes that are being opened in terms of the Roe v. Wade. And so people need to be mindful, be ready, because it's going to get uglier. And people really need to start being serious about being more radical electorally to kind of counteract it, because that's the only option. If you mind, I got a story. I was talking to a friend of mine. I have little text messages with some friends in my hometown, and we go back and forth. It's just talk shit, this kind of thing. And one of my buddies he's just vote blue no matter who guy. And I love him to death. He's a great friend, but he's so enmeshed in it, and he can't stop defending Biden, and he can't stop defending Pelosi. And I mean, we were going, the Ukraine thing on these text messages was just so revealing that, that World War III was not a problem if it was meant following Biden into Russia. Like, he was cool with that. Trump was a problem, but with Biden, it was cool. And I'm just saying, are you serious? I was just like, my man, are you serious with your, do you understand what you're backing in Ukraine with the Nazis and the Azov battalion and these sort of things? And he didn't understand any of that. It didn't matter because it was Biden. And I was like, wow, man, it's like, how do we get past that? Because there's so many folks like that. And it's interesting to see that that's what we're up against. It's just, he's a brother. He's a black male. It's it's interesting to see that there's a lot of walls built around Biden by black folk to keep him safe from darts and spitballs, because they've got ways of protecting him, and it's sad to see. And I think again that's going to be something we have to be mindful for as we go forward here. But it's going to be dark days. Tim, I hope you keep the light shining on these the roaches out. I think that's what you do well, and keeping it clean and keeping everybody honest. I think you do that really well. I think, Tim, if I may, am I still here? We still on?
Still live, brother. Go ahead.
Tim, I think you need to reach out. I think you have the power to reach out. I think a lot of these outlets that are out here need your voice. I remember you being on the Hill, and that was a while back, but it was, I don't know, it didn't fit. It was whatever. You didn't like you, they didn't like you, or whatever. Cigars, man, that guy, Cigar, man. Did you see him during the whole George Floyd thing? Tim, did you see Cigar and what he was saying? And
oh God!
My God! It was him and Crystal were going at it to the point where they had to change the whole show at one time because she was defending something related to the issue, and he was so upset by it he couldn't be on. I mean, it was really bad. And Sagar's this guy. Well, anyway, Tim, I think you need to be out there, man. I mean, I think these people need to see you, and you need to have the voice. And I'm trying to see you more in tune with major mainstream outlets. Have you considered going on Fox, Tim?
We'll see, brother. Yeah, I would go on Fox because I would challenge him. Yeah. Be the same right here. The same.
I mean, you're built for it.
Yeah, we'll be the same Tim Black you see right now. Or they could just take my mic.
Exactly,
take my mic.
That's what I'm saying. So, I mean, not to say that you have to go on that sort of platform,
right?
But I think that we need to get out the basement, Tim.
True.
We need to take this show on the road, brother.
You're true.
Okay.
You're right.
And I think you're a great voice, and I want to see you do it. And I wish you luck.
My brother, give it up for my brother, man. Touring out there in New Jersey, man. Give it up for that brother. I appreciate you, man. And first of all, very informative phone call. First of all, I want to say thank you for that. Not just the kind words, but for the substance of your call. Besides that, and thank you for the love too. But man, the substance and all your points are very relevant. It's very refreshing to hear that take. I believe that there are some people who believe in scorched earth politics. I believe that there's certain factions of, I don't know what this group, what their real denomination is. I don't really get it. What their thought process is, what their ideology is. It could be anarchism, it could be socialism. I don't really know. It's a hybrid of something with libertarian streaks. I don't know, but I think they really believe, Johnson, that their job is to burn it down. And it can burn it down. I think there are people that believe you got to destroy all of this shit, everything and everyone. It's just a casualty of what needs to happen in order to get us to another step. That's what they believe. I would prefer if they said that. They won't. So if you said, look, hey, I love Nina, Nina's a nice person. I love what she tries to do. I met her. I believe that she does believe in these policies. But this system is so shit, we got to destroy all this shit. She got to be a casualty. That would be more honest and forthright. But they're not being honest and forthright. They're fucking lying, Johnson. They're lying. They're pretending to be something that they're not. And they're trying to make us all disposable. And they're backstabbing everyone else in order to get to this point, this magical point that they envision happening, that I don't believe is going to happen, Johnson. I do not believe that my children will see that happen. I know that I won't see that happen in this political system. What will happen is we will continue to do bad. Black people, you think we're doing bad now? It's only getting worse. They are happy with that happening. They're fine with it happening. Some of these mofos live with their mama. Some of them don't have the dire straits of living on the fringes. So they can take the hits while black people die. And believe me, a lot of black people will die. And some poor white people and some poor Latinos as well. They're fine with that. They're okay with that. That's not a problem for them because they believe it's an inevitable cost of doing business to get to this magical land that will never come. And once again, I disagree with it. I think it's short-sighted, and it writes off all of the pain and agony that's going to happen to all the people while you wait for the magical time to come. But at least I could respect your honesty. I can respect that you being true to the game. You're telling people up front. But so they know there will be people that would push back. There will be people that would sign off. They will not get the views. They will not get the donorship. They will not get the support, the memberships. Because there's a person like Tim Black that'll call that shit out. So they can't be upfront and honest. They can't keep it real. That's why I have a problem. I'm telling you, the shit that I've been through in the last year, that was strategic. Other people worked that out. That wasn't me. That was strategically done. So, I think there's a lot that Nina Turner could do besides being in office right now. I think there's still a lot that can be done. You don't quit. As far as Sagar and The Hill, I might go on The Hill with Ryan Grimm. Only problem is I have misgivings about some of the people that or how can I say this? My politics does not align with some of the people that are on that network. And I'm going to be a very that's what gives me hesitation. And I need to get past that because it can't be about that, right? So I'm working through the mental preparation to say it's more important for me to be in front of these people than it is for me to worry about the politics of everybody on said panel. Get what I'm saying? This is hard for me. I know I need to be bigger than that. I know I need to be. What other grown-ass black man is willing to throw opportunity our way to speak up on certain shit? It's very rare, Johnson. Most people realize they need to live indoors, they need to make a profit, they need to take care of their kids and their family. Not hope that people will give super chats. It's not a way to lead a family and have grandkids. Get what I'm saying? And with this algorithm, and for some reason we got a lot of people watching, but we don't get the reach we need to get. It's what it is. Nobody wants to. You love it, Torrin, but you appreciate it, you respect it. But where's the reach, Johnson? This shit has been truth bombed the fuck up. And you know what? I'll be lucky if 3,000 people see it. So I got to work on that. I have to fix that. Last thing, Johnson, we're going to shut it down for tonight. I want you to know that we had some great callers tonight. We really did. Give it up for those callers. Our strength is the people. Our strength is the people. No, I'm not going to dox anyone. That's crazy. I don't even know your real name, dog. How can I dox you? I want to thank my moderators. I want to thank my callers. I want to thank my members of the Tim Black Wolfpack. I want to thank my members on Facebook, my members on YouTube. And I'll try not to let my frustrations be the anchor that stalls out the boat. I try not to let my frustration be the banana in the tailpipe. I have learned, I had taken some time and I looked and I saw that some people have the ability to laugh at adversity, laugh at numbskulls, laugh at the trolls. I have to learn that skill. But thank you so much for supporting this show. Thank you for being a part of this show. Thank you for joining us. I noticed when I was going earlier, my people didn't know I was going earlier, and some of the people missed the show. So I'm kind of lost into the late night host. I'm the late night host guy, you know? It's kind of what it is. maybe we should do replays. Like Roland does replays because he's a daytime guy. So maybe he does replays at night to try to give people an opportunity to see it at night. Because he leaves a lot of meat on the bone when he goes during the daytime. So anyway, it is what it is, guys. Thank you for calling into the show. Hey, it's okay if we disagree. Just have valid points. Don't just be shitting on. Don't just dump on my sisters, man. I can't hear you do that. Because that could be a blind spot for me, right? So I have to be overly defensive of them because I am a black man. I'm not a woman. I'm not a black woman. So I got to make sure, hey, am I standing up for this? Because what would I do if it was a person calling up, if it was a woman calling up talking about black men? Would I let her? Like, this ain't Kevin Samuels, Johnson. So don't get me twisted. You put me in that position. I don't want to be in that position. I don't want to referee phone calls. I don't want to time out grown-ass people. You might even get to the show. A small-ass show like this doesn't need to lose people unless I have to. Get what I'm saying? I don't want to lose people. But I got to draw a line in the sand on some shit. You know what I'm saying? So, because the environment has to be hospitable for the members who actually do support the show. So anyway, thank you guys for what you do. Let's go to Super Chats. It is what it is. Not going to be perfect. I try. I mean well. Keith Weston supports the show. He says, Tim, my good, honorable big brother TB and the Wolfpack family. I missed you last Friday night, so I'm here to drop what I meant to put down. Keep doing your thing, TB. Wolfpack forever. Cut the check, B1. Give it up for Keith Weston, man. Sid Black got to make the moves, like Torres said. You got to make the moves. Sheldon Hughes says, my brother Keith just inspired me. Love you, Tim, and the Wolfpack. No doubt, no doubt. Love you back, brother. Sheldon Hughes in the house. Shell Boogie. Jay says, Jim Clyburn was in Cleveland. Trashing Nina. I can't clap for him, but thank you for the comment. Will in the house. Thank you, Will. Tony D in the house. Nancy Pelosi was just campaigning for Henry Culler, an anti-choice Democrat. Just so you know. Just so you know. Politics. Ben 31 is the VIP on the show, says, government stay out of my womb. Biden grow some and codify Roe versus Wade. That's what I'm saying, codify, that's the word. Pass voting rights and police reform. And cancel student debt, damn it. Love you, Nina, 2024. Give it up for Ben. Nancy Drew, appreciate you. Never give up. I do my best, Johnson. Lady Jackie, be one for life. Keep the faith, Tim. I try, Lady Jackie. I try, sister. I try. There is no, I try my best. You know what I'm saying? I try to get it right. And I always get it right. I don't mean no harm to folks. But damn it. All right, Johnson. It is what it is. VJ Hamilton in the house. Thank you, VJ. I appreciate you, Johnson. Appreciate you. Man, I understand the frustration that some people feel, or a lot of us feel. I get that, John. I just want everybody to know, man, I take this shit. I take it home. I'm at home. So, yeah, I take this home. I don't know if everyone does that that's in this business. But it's real for me. You know what I'm saying? This is real for me. And I know it's real for a lot of you guys. I'm not just trying to get a rise out of people. So I just started looking at some of the stuff I was doing on Facebook like, am I saying this to beat the algorithm? Do I really feel this way? Do I have to go this hard? So I start pulling my punches a little bit because like, I don't want to play the media game. But believe me, when I put out content, when I put out videos, that's all me, Johnson. Some of my posts sometimes be a little funny, be a little cheeky, giving people a little ding. But when I put out content, that's from here to here or from here to here. It's not a joke. So that's it, guys. Thanks for supporting this show. I'll see you Friday. Yeah. Wolfpack. Don't forget you can get this show on podcast. This will be available on podcast on Apple and Google. And yeah. That's it, y'all. Be safe. Don't let nobody take your cornbread. Cut the check. Be one. Wolfpack. Peace.
Don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Don't be fooled by corporate media talking heads misleading the people. Get your news and information from an entity that keeps it real. Tim Black. Tim Black is the host of The Tim Black Show. Independent news that leaves you informed, inspired, and sometimes entertained, but always in the know. Go to TimBlackTV.com and sign up today. The Tim Black Show is news for people who can't stand the news. See you there.
Let me ask you something. Do they know us? When I say they, I mean the talking heads on cable news. Do they know you? I mean, they talk about the world. They play political games, report on our pain, rack our brain to feed the stock exchange, but do they know us? Do they know what we care about? Nope. They're too far away. They can't see us. They can't feel us. They can't relate to us. See, when you want to know what's going on in your world, trust someone who lives in your world. Subscribe.
Most news shows are suspect. They don't focus on Black issues, and when they do, it's all fluff. How does that help your life? How does that help your family? How does that help the culture? They don't. The Tim Black Show is different. Tim Black gives you news for people who can't stand the news. Real, authentic, researched, entertaining, on point. Don't let nobody take your cornbread. Visit www.timblacktv.com today. Get Black breaking news, politics, culture from someone you can trust. TimBlackTV.com. Join us today.